about Kamaru Usman fighting Canelo Alvarez in a boxing match.
He said it this week. He's just like the greatest pound for pound MMA
Listen to
fighter, the
what
greatest
Dana
pound
White
for pound
says
boxer.
about
I watched the
Usman
Canelo fight tonight.
fighting Canelo.
You don't want to fight.
You hear that?
Come on.
He don't want to fight
Stop that
Canelo.
shit. If Canelo wants to come over here, let's do it. You don't want to box.
Dana White says he does not want the Kamaru Usman versus Canelo Alvarez boxing match.
I agree with Dana. Dana's not. If Dana thought that was a good fight for his guy, he would do it. Because it would make money. He just knows. Look, let's be honest.
Dude, not for nothing. That's a horrible fight for Kamaru Usman. Like, bro, like, I said this before, not like a video or two ago. Is he one of the best in the UFC for right now, like, at this moment? For the past year or two? Yeah, but like, dude, like, he's no GSP. He will never be like GSP. Like, he ain't. I don't consider him one of the best champions. Like, people, he's fought the same fucking like two people his last 4 fights. How does that make him the best? And I'm only speaking a fucking fact. The Gilbert Burns fight. I like the Game Bread fight, obviously, when he knocked him the fuck out. Great fucking. He's an animal. Kamaru Usman is a fucking animal. He's one of the best fighters. He's pound for pound the best fighter in the UFC right now. For the past year. But but comparing him to a GSP, dude said Jose, like, as a champion, a UFC champion, they're comparing him to like Aldo and shit. I'm like, absolutely fucking not. I don't think of him as I thought of Jose Aldo years ago. I don't look at Kamaru Usman as unbeatable. I don't know why everybody, and I'm not a hater. I like, I love Conor McGregor. What he did a few years ago was unreal. And he ain't even a Conor McGregor type of champion. Not even close. Like, I don't even, like, Adesanya's gonna lose his title fucking probably his next fight or the next one. Then whenever he fights Alex Pereira, he's done. That's your middleweight. That's your UFC heavy middleweight champion of the world. And as soon as the easier the people get that into their heads, the easier they won't let their feelings, like a woman on her period, get to them. Well, no, let's go.
You don't want to fight Canelo. Come on, man. Let's stop this shit. If Canelo wants to come over here, let's do it. You don't want to box Canelo.
Dana White says he does not want the Kamaru Usman versus Canelo Alvarez boxing match.
I agree with Dana. Dana's not. If Dana thought that was a good fight for his guy, he would do it. Because it would make money. He just knows. Look, let's be honest. I'm not in any fashion trying to put Kamaru Usman down in any way. He's a fantastic champion. He's a fantastic MMA fighter, and he will get smoked in a boxing match with Canelo. Smoked. Just tell him.
In reality, Canelo will have to do something insanely stupid for Kamaru to even land a meaningful blow. But even with that in mind, that hasn't stopped Usman and his manager Ali Abdelaziz from trying to build hype for this fight, using interviews to get any form of buzz in the headlines. The way we see it, Usman's best course of action will be to forget about Canelo. Sure, the UFC pound-for-pound #1 is a decent striker by MMA standards, a powerful puncher with an excellent jab whose overall fundamentals have been improving significantly fight by fight. We saw him spark the Iron Chin Jorge Masvidal with a brutal straight right to leave the world in shock, just like we watched him break the jaw of Colby Covington in their first fight before scoring a 5th round TKO. But that is MMA, and in the boxing ring, Canelo Alvarez is king of the jungle. Not only will he have the edge on Usman in experience and comfort within the squared circle, but athletically, his power, speed, clean technique. These are things that Kamaru could train for 10 years and still fall short of. Alvarez doesn't just beat elite boxers, he makes some of the world's greatest fighters look foolish, like they have no business being in the cage with him. If he ever fought Usman, that bout would go only for as long as Canelo wanted to. Sure, it would be great for Kamaru's bank account, but his legacy will almost certainly be affected. Conor McGregor, on the other hand, now that's a mega fight that will be a way more intelligent decision.
Forget expensive solar panels. Get Tesla Solar and a Powerwall for no cost. Can you get paid $2,500 to get Tesla Solar and
The paydays for a fight with Canelo would be bigger for sure, but in taking on the UFC biggest star, Usman would still make some serious bank, and he would do so against an opponent with some very real weaknesses to his game. If that left hand lands, the champ could be in trouble, but his own wrestling, insane cardio, and physicality at 170 pounds would likely make him a nightmare for the Irishman. Conor is a lethal striker in his own right, and he has shown himself to be susceptible to strong wrestle with a dominant top game. And even if he can somewhat survive the takedowns, his gas tank, especially with all that muscle, likely won't last 25 minutes. And just as McGregor starts to worry about the double leg, that's when Kamaru's opening to blast him with a right hand will be there. Just ask Khabib. That's exactly how he knocked the Notorious down to the canvas at UFC 229. Usman has definitely become a lot more exciting to watch in the last few years, bringing more striking to the table as he grew in confidence. But if Kamaru wanted to fall back on the smothering style of clinch work that got him to the title he now holds, Conor would be the perfect opponent to exploit this on. Usman is a fighter who deserves to make some serious money at this point in his career, with 5 defenses of his title under his belt and a pair of rematches proving that he's on his way towards cleaning out the division. Late 2022 or 2023 seems like the perfect time for Kamaru to finally get his marquee payday. Obviously, guys like Leon Edwards, Gilbert Burns, and Khamzat Chimaev are in play, but if Usman still holds the belt by then, who could begrudge him a massive fight? The problem, fighting Canelo would be nothing less than a death sentence.
Yeah, man. You know, he's talking about fighting Kamaru Usman. Like, ooh, be careful what you ask for.
Really?
Be careful what you ask for. Usman is a big man, and he is top of the food chain right now.
Yeah.
That's the best pound-for-pound fighter alive is Kamaru Usman, and he's a natural 170. You got to remember, Conor McGregor won the title at 145.
Fucking hell, that's small.
And then he went up to 155, and he knocked out Eddie Alvarez. He became the champ. So he's consecutive, concurrent,
Yeah, right.
holding 2 titles concurrently. And then he fought at 170, but he fought Cowboy Cerrone, who's a natural 155-pounder. And, you know, no knock on Cowboy. And Cowboy's beat a lot of good 170-pounders. He's an elite fighter. But Usman's a different thing. That's a different peak. There's no oxygen at the top of that mountain. Kamaru is as good as anybody has ever been at 170. And he also has 1-punch knockout power.
Joe Rogan was talking about Conor McGregor's call out of Kamaru Usman. And Joe said, and I quote the old adage, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. Now, why? Why? Joe went on to answer his own question. He talked about how great Usman is. He talked about Usman is the greatest to be doing it right now. He talked about his strength. He talked about the size of his body. That Usman's a true welterweight. That Conor used to be a 45-pounder. All of these things are very valid. We're stating the obvious. There's nothing new here. I have the same question. Why? Why should Conor be careful? What is it that Kamaru Usman, take Kamaru out of it, bring anybody you want. We just happen to be talking about Kamaru. What is it that Kamaru Usman, or anybody for that matter, can bring to the octagon that Conor McGregor hasn't seen? Why should he be careful? Why should anyone be careful what they're asking for when what they're asking for is an opportunity to take on the baddest man in the world? How would that not be praised? Why would that be cautioned? What is it you're scared of? And if your overarching emphasis is that you're scared that you're going to lose and or get hurt, what are you doing in the tough guy business? You're a tough guy or you're not.
So if you ask us, pushing for the McGregor fight is a no-brainer. Sure, it doesn't really make sense within the context of the 170-pound division. Conor has fought as a welterweight 3 times, going 2-1, with only Nate Diaz and Donald Cerrone as his opponents. 2 guys who move up in weight from long stints at 155 pounds. Usman would, without question, be the first real, natural welterweight he faced. A tough, durable competitor who has shown an ability to take damage, recover, and pull out the win. There are no 2 ways about it. Usman making a point of publicly accepting Conor's recent call-out is the best path for him right now. Many amateur boxers at his weight would have a field day with him if he decided to transition over to boxing. And that's not meant as a dig at Usman. They are just 2 completely different sports. For our money, Kamaru Usman's legacy would be better helped by getting in there with the former 2-weight world champion McGregor, for a fight that he will be heavily favored to win. A fight that could prove to be a springboard for some real superstardom. Nate Diaz, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Dustin Poirier all have beaten Conor and managed to come away as household names. And while it's understandable that Usman would like to follow the heavyweight champ Francis Ngannou